All right, so we're doing a Pulsechain and pDAI technical analysis today, and we're gonna do this because Pulsechain, is definitely a very good blockchain here, but pDAI is the pinnacle of where you should be looking at, and Pulsechain is also very good as well. And obviously, pDAI wouldn't be successful without Pulsechain because it's built on Pulsechain. So this is a really good topic here. So I really just want to discuss this, especially pDAI, right? So first we'll do Pulsechain. Now, looking at Pulsechain, you can already see there's a lot of buys coming in here for Pulsechain. Last 24 hours up 8.35%. Last 6 hours up 5.17%. Last hour up 0.29%. All that good stuff. Liquidity for Pulsechain over here at $5.8 million. The market cap is at $302.7 million. So Pulsechain is at a very good price right now. And 4Z, and that's 4 zeros after the decimal place. So 4Z3911. So this is a pretty good price range that we right now have Pulsechain at. And it's really funny because, since the launch of pDAI, first Pulsechain was going down a lot since the launch of pDAI back inside of June. If you actually look at this, we can see, give or take, around June 1st, we had pDAI launch here on Pulsechain. And then you can see it's been working its way all the way up since then. And yeah, it's been on a nice uptrend since June 1st. If you actually look back here at Pulsechain now, you can see Pulsechain, the launch of pDAI, it was doing very, very well. Like the launch of pDAI, it just had a huge pump here on Pulsechain, and then you see it's just kept pulling back from there. But now it looks like Pulsechain is kind of, flattening out a little bit here. Now, we obviously know the reason why everything was crashing, why we had that huge crash, because of the lawsuit going on with Richard Hart, right? We all know that. But what's really interesting here, if you look at Pulsechain, it actually bottomed out twice and it did not break the support, which is actually pretty important there. So this is the Fibonacci retracement here. You can see it bottomed out twice at 0.0000335. Well, give or take 0.0000333. Bunch of threes. All right, that's all we're gonna say. 4Z333333, all those threes. But that's pretty cool because since it actually bottomed out there, you could actually also look at Pulsechain. Now, Pulsechain is going up, and I mean pDAI over here. If you look at pDAI is still on the rise. But now that Pulsechain has bottomed out, it kind of looks like Pulsechain is actually going to start going on the rise as well. Now, obviously, if another thing comes out about Richard Hart and like another thing for the lawsuit and it's bad, people are obviously gonna be scared to get in on Pulsechain again. They're gonna start selling again. But pDAI is still on a constant uptrend here, even though all that stuff was going on with Pulsechain, which is why I think Pulsechain is going to do fairly well. So looking at the Pulsechain technical analysis, we already hit the support twice back here, right? We hit that support twice. Now what we're seeing is we're going all the way up here to this resistance. So now we got to try to break past this resistance. That's going to be at 4Z 4280, or I should say 4290. So 4Z 4290 is what we're trying to get past now with Pulsechain. And that's pretty much what we're trying to do, get past 4Z 4290. Now, if you also look back here, we passed it very briefly, but then we had a pullback. Now we're trying to build that momentum back up and trying to get back up there again. If it gets rejected again, then you could probably bet that Pulsechain would end up going below the support down here at 0.0003333, 4Z33. So we'd probably end up going down below that area and dropping from there. So we don't want to see Pulsechain getting rejected again here. But anyways, you got to think, like, Pulsechain just kind of officially launched recently. So you got to think about how long it took Ethereum to actually do a nice pump, like when it launched. So everything that started, it took it a while to really, get its ground, like get a ground base there. And it's really important to remember that because a lot of things are now being built on Pulsechain. So these different cryptos being built on Pulsechain, they're going to be they're pretty much going to prop up the Pulsechain economy. It's going to prop up Pulsechain itself. Ethereum wouldn't be as successful if there weren't layer twos on Ethereum. Ethereum wouldn't be as successful if it didn't have, different things to really put in place to succeed. If there weren't different altcoins, if there weren't different ERC20s on Ethereum, if we didn't have all that stuff, Ethereum wouldn't be as successful as it is today. And now what you're seeing here is Pulsechain pretty much building an economy. Now, like I said in my previous Pulsechain video, there's some of these that you just don't even want to touch. Like a lot of these down here are just they're just scams, and you just don't want to touch a lot of these. They're just pairs that people have created to try to scam people out of their money. But that's just some of them, right? It's not all of them. That's why you want to look at the high liquidity ones and the high market cap ones. Typically, those are the ones that you're going to want to pay attention to. But I just look at all these with the random symbols like that. I just don't even touch those ones with the random symbols and stuff. So what I'm looking at here mainly is this Pulse X to wrap the Pulse up here at 20.6 million liquidity, 1.4 billion in market cap there. The DAI to Atropa, that's actually the main one that I'm holding here, which is 18.5 million liquidity, 54.6 million inside of market cap. That's the main one right there. That's the one that's really garnering the attention of a lot of different people. And now we're also starting to see people from other communities are coming in to get in on this. And like me myself, I come from the Baby Doge community and really the Binance Smart Chain community in general. That's mainly what I look at when I look at cryptos. But now I'm seeing this, and now I'm like, all right, now I'm going to be coming over here to Pulsechain because they're doing a lot with the ecosystem. So the ecosystem is building a lot, and they're trying to get pDAI all the way up to $1. So that is the main thing right there. And pDAI being at $1, it's pretty much going to be the stable coin of Pulsechain. And we all know, like, you can't have a successful blockchain if you don't have some type of, you can't have really a successful ecosystem here if you don't have some type of stable coin. And that's why they're trying to get pDAI all the way up to $1 to have that as its stable coin. So they're really, really focused on this. And Richard Hart specifically is also focused on getting a stable coin for Pulsechain. And he's actually also mentioned that that's what they're doing behind the scenes. And that's probably what we have here with pDAI. pDAI is probably that project that he's, talking about. Now, we can't be 100% sure, obviously, but still, this is pretty much what everybody's been talking about. This is what everyone's been trying to get done. So it looks like Pulsechain, like I said, is going back up here to this area at this next resistance for that Fibonacci. And then as for pDAI, if you actually look at pDAI, it's on its way pulling back down to that support. And then from there, it can see if it can build more momentum to get past the resistance up there. So we just have to wait a little longer for us to pull back a little bit more. Maybe it doesn't even pull all the way back down to the support because it kind of already did that. But we're just waiting for another confirmation here to see if we can continue to rise. But the fact that we haven't broken down below this support here yet pretty much means that we're probably going up to the next level higher, right? So the same thing that happened here, we broke down below that support very briefly, but then we were right back above it and did not want to go back below it, went back below it very briefly, and then we had that pump out of there. And what I really like here is even if we do pull back down here below 8Z, or not 8Z, but 2Z 2250, which is 002250, if we go down below 002250, then obviously the next area of support would only be at 001900, and then from there we can keep building that momentum and continue to rise from there. So I think either way, even pDAI has a huge possibility to continue to rise up. Now I will say Pulsechain, as for one, Pulsechain, it might not take the same rise to the top like pDAI is. So Pulsechain may just continue to pull back just a little bit more. But what we're seeing right now is for pDAI. pDAI is doing very good. So that's the main one that I was mentioning that I'm looking at. That's the main one here. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at here. Pulse X doing pretty good as well. If we're looking at just the highest market caps here, we got Hex, and then we have Pulse X, and then we have the Wrapped Pulse here, which is the one that we're looking at right now, and that's 302.9 million. So yeah, doing very, very good with this. And we have multiple players here with that. So that is doing very good. You can add them all up and then have a general idea of how much is really in there between all those different pools. But yeah, a lot of good stuff going on for both Pulse and pDAI. But if you were going to ask me for my personal opinion, I think pDAI has the higher potential than Pulse chain. So that's just for right now. Obviously in the later future, when pDAI does reach $1, it's not going to go above $1 because it's supposed to be a stable coin, and that's just what they're trying to get it to. So then they can just have it pegged at $1 with Atropa here. So Atropa is also another good one that you would also want to watch out for. But this is just specifically on pDAI and Pulsechain. Now Atropa is definitely going to do very good as well. And we're just waiting for the next bullish movement to the upside to see exactly where that's going to go. So if you're going to ask me, I think for right now temporarily, pDAI and Atropa are going to be like the pinnacle of Pulsechain. And then eventually Pulsechain will take its rise back into prominence here. We've been seeing Hex has been increasing a lot recently. So Hex has been increasing a lot, which is very good. And we've also been seeing PulseX has been doing decent as well. So yeah, so far so good. We've been doing some good numbers in pretty much in all regards here. When it comes to Pulse, when it comes to pDAI, when it comes to Hex, I mean the whole Pulse chain has really been doing very, very well. So we just gotta wait a little longer to see what exactly can happen here. But I'll definitely let you guys know if anything new comes up, and then we can have a whole discussion on that. But anyways, remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Definitely hit the like button and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. And as always, I'll be back with another video.